National Action Plan on Human Trafficking is mandated to ensure proper coordination of stakeholders' intervention on human trafficking for greater effectiveness and efficiency in the fight against human trafficking. The first National Plan of Action 2009 to 2012 set the benchmark for the intervention by all stakeholders in the fight against human trafficking in Nigeria by assigning roles and responsibilities to all actors in anti-human trafficking operations. Recently, a new National Action Plan against human trafficking to guide anti-human trafficking efforts in the next 5 years has been designed. Its objectives include to provide a national blueprint for coordination of anti-trafficking interventions in Nigeria and ensure greater efficiency in the utilization of intervention funds from the international community and domestic donors. To align strategic anti-trafficking actions in Nigeria with international standards. To strengthen coordination, implementation and evaluation mechanisms for anti-human trafficking actions in Nigeria. To provide strategic direction to combating human trafficking within the country and also foster collaboration among stakeholders for greater effectiveness and efficiency in the fight against human trafficking in Nigeria. To set yearly benchmarks for stakeholders' implementation and provide a basis for evaluating the level and success of implemented activities. This document is also aimed at demonstrating Nigeria's commitment to its obligation under the United Nations Convention on Transnational Organized Crime, as it incorporates various emerging trends and contemporary issues such as new dynamics in trafficking in persons, including organ harvesting, baby factory, online recruitment of victims, that is, cyber trafficking, and so on. Human trafficking realities in the post-pandemic era, disability inclusion, and gender sensitivity. The National Action Plan provides coordination, implementation and evaluation mechanism under 5 thematic areas: protection and assistance, prevention, law enforcement and prosecution and access to justice, partnership and coordination, research and assessment, data management and statistics, monitoring and evaluation. The development of the plan was funded by the Government of Switzerland with the technical support from UNODC. The National Policy on Protection and Assistance to Trafficked Persons in Nigeria was first developed in 2008 out of a desire to ensure proper, effective and standardized protection services for victims of trafficking in persons in Nigeria. With the reenactment of the Trafficking in Persons Prohibition, Enforcement and Administration Act of 2015 and enactment of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act of 2015, as well as new trends in human trafficking, it became pertinent to review the policy. The policy provides minimum standards for service delivery by all stakeholders and caregivers in the management, protection and rehabilitation of trafficked persons and victims of other forms of abuse in Nigeria. The Protocol for Identification, Safe Return and Rehabilitation of Trafficked Persons is an operational tool for law enforcement officers and other caregivers at host countries and countries of origin on the treatment of identified victims. The document also provides a framework for cooperation amongst host countries and countries of origin in the identification, safe return and rehabilitation of victims of human trafficking. These 3 documents were approved by the Federal Executive Council in February and March 2022 respectively. Today, the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, presents to you the National Action Plan 2022 to 2026, National Policy on Protection and Assistance to Trafficked Persons in Nigeria, and the Protocol for Identification, Safe Return and Rehabilitation of Trafficked Persons. The National Action Plan. Have you been promised a job here in Nigeria or abroad? What about offers of free education or enrollment in a foreign football club? Please do your research. These are some of the antics of human traffickers. Human trafficking is modern-day slavery. It entails forced labor, sex trafficking, and organ harvesting. Its consequences have devastating psychological effects such as depression, anxiety, memory loss, severe forms of mental trauma, and death. NAPTIP is working tirelessly to ensure protection of victims and speedy prosecution of offenders. Are you a victim? Waste no time. Call NAPTIP now on 0703 0000203 or the toll-free short code 627. NAPTIP, ensuring a human trafficking and violence-free nation. Have you been promised a job here in Nigeria or abroad? What about offers of free education or enrollment in a foreign football club? Please do your research. These are some of the antics of human traffickers. Human trafficking is modern-day slavery. It entails forced labor, sex trafficking, and organ harvesting. Its consequences have devastating psychological effects such as depression, anxiety, memory loss, severe forms of mental trauma, and death. NAPTIP is working tirelessly to ensure protection of victims and speedy prosecution of offenders. Are you a victim? Waste no time. Call NAPTIP now on 0703 0000203 or the toll-free short code 627. NAPTIP, ensuring a human trafficking and violence-free nation.
Your attention, please.
Are you a travel agent? Or do you plan to travel abroad for work, school, professional sports activities, or school excursion? Are you worried about incessant reports of human trafficking and unjust practices? NAPTIP is here to help. The Standard Operating Procedure for International Recruitment, recently launched by the federal government and relevant agencies, and NAPTIP's Regulation 2019, ensures that proper vetting is conducted and a clearance certificate issued by NAPTIP, so that your mind is at rest when you travel. Avoid irregular migration and falling victim of human trafficking. Regular and safe migration is possible. For more information, log on to tipclearance.naptip.gov.ng. NAPTIP, ensuring a human trafficking and violence-free nation.
Hi, are you aware that any person who recruits, transports, harbors, or receives another person by means of force for the purpose of exploitation is a human trafficker? And that running a baby factory is not just illegal, but is considered human trafficking? Engaging a child below 12 years for domestic servitude and paying to an agent is also trafficking. Sexual exploitation, forced labor, organ harvesting, sale and purchase of persons are all forms of human trafficking. NAPTIP is leaving no stone unturned to ensure justice for the victims and ensure speedy prosecution of offenders. Shun the culture of silence and report all cases to NAPTIP.
Call NAPTIP now on 0703 0000203 or the toll-free short code 627. NAPTIP, ensuring a human trafficking and violence-free nation.
Hi, are you aware that any person who recruits, transports, harbors, or receives another person by means of force for the purpose of exploitation is a human trafficker? And that running a baby factory is not just illegal, but is considered human trafficking? Engaging a child below 12 years for domestic servitude and paying to an agent is also trafficking. Sexual exploitation, forced labor, organ harvesting, sale and purchase of persons are all forms of human trafficking. NAPTIP is leaving no stone unturned to ensure justice for the victims and ensure speedy prosecution of offenders. Shun the culture of silence and report all cases to NAPTIP.
Call NAPTIP now on 0703 0000203 or the toll-free short code 627. NAPTIP, ensuring a human trafficking and violence-free nation.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you very much. We want to especially welcome the representative of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, GCON, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, who's represented here today by one who's very close to NAPTIP. He's a lawyer and Deputy Chief of Staff to the President. Especially welcome Mr. Adiola Rahman Ikpai. You're welcome, sir. We also want to specially welcome the UN Resident Coordinator to Nigeria, Mr. Matthias Shumali. You're welcome. Let me also specially welcome the Head of Region, ICMPD, the International Center for Migration Policy Development, Dr. Mojishola Shodende. You're welcome. Permit me to also specially at this point appreciate the representative of the Attorney General of the Federation and Honorable Minister of Justice, well, Abubakar Malami, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, who's represented here today by Director and Board Member of NAPTIP, Mr. Andrew Kashubi Dauda. You're welcome. Let me also specially welcome our board chair, who's represented here today by Barrister Joshua Ako. Please put your hands together for him. We want to also specially appreciate our partners who are here in their numbers. I'll start off by recognizing the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the NDLEA. He's represented here today by Mr. Shedrack Haruna Usman. Please put your hands together for him. The NDLEA is actually represented by about 3 directors here today. Thank you for your support. We have also with us from the Veritas University, the Head of Public and International Law, Dr. Chukwudi Victor Odoime. You're welcome. Also, representing Sir Emeka Ofo Foundation is the Chief of Staff, AIG Chris OK AZK, retired. You're welcome, sir. Representing also the Most Reverend Dr. Henry Ndukaba, Primate Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, is Lady Barrister Chindo Anazodo. You're welcome. Let me also specially appreciate the American ambassador who's here. Especially welcome Her Excellency Mary Lionel Beth. You're welcome. We will run through the names. I want to assure you that we will take time to recognize everyone, particularly members of the Diplomatic Corps who have come to support us. We have the British High Commissioner also here with us, Her Excellency Katrina Wendy Leon. Please put your hands together. Also with us is the Spanish Ambassador, His Excellency Mr. Juan Ignacio Cel. Thank you very much. Acting Chief of Missions, the International Organization of Migration, is Prestige Morims. Please, Morima, thank you. We have also with us the team lead, We have the team lead, FIAPA Native Scene. We have Rafael Rios Molina. Thank you very much. We have also with us CGI, from CGI, Mr. Isa Jere Idris. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have a long list, and I want to assure you we'll take time to go through them as we're going through the program today. But if you see our program is a straightforward one, at this point, I'll also tell us that we'll take the national anthem in a bit. Afterwards, we'll take the national prayer, which is the second stanza of the Nigerian national anthem. We'll take recognitions and address, but our key activity for today will be the debate, and the focus will be the use and abuse of technology in human trafficking. And we have two schools who will be in the finals already, and one of them, of course, will be the lead, the first leader, while the second one will be the second leader. Today we hope to crown both of them champions. To begin, distinguished girls, I'll ask us to be on our feet as we honor Nigeria by taking the national anthem. On the screen will be shown the second stanza of the national anthem. It's our national prayer. We'll pray along. We'll not be singing it, we'll just be saying it as a prayer. After 3, 1, 2, go. Amen. Please, you may take your seats. Your Excellency, the representative of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellency, the representative of the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished members of the Fourth Institute of the Realm who have been upgraded to this position on the protocol list, the UN Resident Coordinator to Nigeria, Head of Region ICMPD, Chairman of our board, and the Director General National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking Persons, directors and heads of units of NAPTIP, our moderator for the debate today, our panel of judges, our debaters, heads of schools, lecturers, and students, members of staff of NAPTIP, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Let me especially welcome us as we take a look critically from the eyes of students what it means to use or abuse technology in the face of the growing challenge of trafficking persons across the world. Today, however, NAPTIP takes the lead in helping to build the mind of young people into creating a world that is safe for people to travel and is safer for people to use technology. To welcome us today, distinguished guests, permit me to welcome the one who has worked hard to make sure this event is successful, but much more than that, to achieve the success of the goals that NAPTIP, for which NAPTIP was set up. Let me therefore invite the Director General of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking Persons, NAPTIP, Dr. Fatima Waziri Azi. Please put your hands together for her.
Your Excellency, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, SCN, GCON, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by the Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Mr. Adekpaye, Your Excellency, United Nations Resident Coordinator in Nigeria, Mr. Matthias, Your Excellencies, High Commissioners, Ambassadors, and heads of diplomatic missions in Nigeria here present, heads of ministries, departments, and agencies here present, representatives of the armed forces, heads of security and law enforcement agencies here present, all diplomatic partners, our sponsors for this event, ICMPD, ION, FIAP, Saimeka Ofo Foundation, and Fortem Microfinance Institution, directors and staff of NAPTIP, the president of the Network Against Child Trafficking, Abuse, and Labor, Mr. Abduganiu Abubakar, and other members of civil society here present, our debating students from Bayes and Veritas universities, their teachers and supporters, gentlemen of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of the management and officers of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, I'm delighted to welcome you all to the grand finale of the 2022 World Day Against Trafficking in Persons and finals of the Inter-University Debate. We have had a week full of events which began on Monday, July 25th. Let me use this opportunity to extend our gratitude to you all for being a part of it. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the United Nations has chosen the theme, Use and Abuse of Technology, for this year. I believe this theme is timely, couldn't have come at a better time, considering the fact that human traffickers now operate online as much as they operate offline. If the COVID-19 pandemic has taught us anything, it is the reinforcement of the need for digital channel of communication. Because human traffickers have also caught on this digital transformation, there is an obvious shift from physical to virtual recruitment as traffickers have kept pace with technology, becoming proficient at using the internet for their trafficking operations. At NAPTIP, we are seeing an increase in fake job advertorials and fake scholarship via social media, as traffickers use it to recruit and catfish unsuspecting victims. While technology is frequently misused to facilitate trafficking in persons, its positive use helps in combating trafficking and support anti-trafficking work, such as aiding investigations that in turn enhances prosecutions and scaling awareness creation. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to share some of our very recent activities, on June 23rd, my team and I paid a courtesy visit to His Royal Majesty, the Oba of Benin. And sequel to this visit, His Royal Majesty advised NAPTIP to partner with the Oba Palace Task Force to strengthen interventions at the community level. And this has led to the setting up of the NAPTIP Oba Palace Task Force. This joint task force has begun its work by progressively conducting awareness creation and community dialogue in 3 endemic local government areas of Edo State to scale awareness against human trafficking, smuggling of migrants, and irregular migration. 9 communities in the 3 targeted local government areas will be covered in the first phase of this project. During the same visit, we commissioned a brand new 28-bed space capacity shelter
for survivors of human trafficking for NAPTIP's Benin Zonal Command. The shelter was graciously built by the UK Home Office Modern Day Slavery Program in Nigeria. In the same token, this past June, we began a nationwide establishment of Trafficking in Persons and Violence Against Persons Vanguard across 110 federal government unity schools, and we have established in 28 secondary schools in the past month. The Vanguard is intended to increase the capacity of students to identify and report incidents of human trafficking and sexual and gender-based violence in and outside school, and raise a generation of young people empowered to advocate against these crimes and promote safe migration as an option rather than irregular migration. We can do a lot of preventive work just by opening their eyes to this problem. 2 weeks ago, in collaboration with our partners, IOM, UNODC, FIAB, and Expertise France, with funding from the US government, European Union, Government of Switzerland, and the Kingdom of Netherlands, we organized a 5-day boot camp for state task forces on human trafficking from the northern and southern states, the first since the establishment of the first state task force in 2017. The aim of the boot camp was to strengthen partnership among state task force and provide a platform for information sharing and peer review on good practices. There are currently 21 state task forces in Nigeria, and we are scheduled to inaugurate in 2 more states this August. On June 29, 2022, Nigeria and the Gambia signed an MOU to prevent, suppress, punish trafficking in persons, especially women and children. This is the 4th bilateral agreement and MOU Nigeria has signed between October 2021 and June 2022. In the area of prosecution, since inception, the agency has secured 530 convictions and 36 convictions and counting for the year 2022. Now, as an organization evolves, it needs to continuously look inwards to find new and innovative solutions and ideas to improve organizational processes and performance, which is why, for the first time since the establishment of NAPTIP, the headquarters is currently in the middle of an in-depth, independent organizational evaluation for efficiency, effectiveness, and the economics of our operations. This SWOT assessment will help us gauge the value of our current processes, governance, and our people, and identify areas we are excelling in and where we can improve. It will help us identify improvement initiatives which we can implement in the short term and inform our future strategy to transform NAPTIP to its rightful place as a leading agency in Nigeria. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in terms of deliberate and targeted intervention to curb cybercrimes, NAPTIP is taking a range of steps towards achieving a strong response in tackling these crimes. NAPTIP is in partnership with the U.S. National Center for Missing and Exploited Children to enhance tracing and diligent investigation of all cases relating to online child abuse, human trafficking, and other related crimes. This partnership will also help detect persons who use social media platforms to electronically distribute pornographic materials to either blackmail or exploit victims. The agency is currently investigating its first sextortion case. The agency has set up a cybercrime task team that is dedicated to tackle online crimes. In the same vein, we conduct joint investigations with Interpol's National Center Bureau in Nigeria. To conclude, let me especially recognize and appreciate all our partners that have stood by us, consistently supported our work, and continue to show a remarkable interest in curbing human trafficking in Nigeria. We are most grateful for working with us and responding positively whenever we call. Your partnership has proven valuable in supporting Nigerians' efforts. All events in commemoration of the 2022 World Day Against Trafficking in Persons are graciously and generously supported by our amazing partners who always show up: International Center for Migration Policy Development, ICMPD, International Organization for Migration, IOM, International Ibero-American Foundation for Administration and Policy and Public Policy, FIAB, Steinmaker Offer Foundation, and Fortem Microfinance Institution. We owe these partners a ton of gratitude. To tackle the scourge of human trafficking, we must continue to work together and collaboratively. Thank you very much.
Please put your hands together for our DG. One who's not only a lawyer, but also deep into research. Thank you very much for providing change. Somebody had said about NAPTIP that I've been to NAPTIP for many years. I didn't know that what was in front of NAPTIP was a fountain. I thought it was a roundabout to nowhere. But this woman came and revived that fountain. Please put your hands together for her. Especially, Your Excellency, the representative of the Vice President, since her coming, NAPTIP has taken a different face. She has honored her short time here with us so far. Over 530 convictions have been secured. Over 18,000 people have been helped in our facilities. And she has also, of course, you know that she has also been able to help secure about approval of 3 policy documents in a short time. That's to show you that she's research worthy and she's thorough with her work. One international thing that we appreciate is the collaboration with Facebook, so that those who are doing this with Facebook can be reported directly to NAPTIP because of our help and support. Thank you very much, ma'am, for doing a good job. Let me just recognize the few. We have the Deputy Head of Mission, the Embassy of the Netherlands, Mr. Jürgen Bertling. Please put your hands together. You're welcome. Abdul Ganiu Abubakar is the National President of NACTEL, Nigeria. Thank you very much for coming through. I assured you we'll take all the names, but let us take them in beats. Next, let's welcome the Head of Region, ICMPD West Africa, Dr. Mojishola Shodende. Please put your hands together for her.
Excellencies, the representative of the Vice President of Nigeria, all other protocols observed. How do we stop human trafficking? This is $1 million question. It's the greatest human rights challenge of our time. Men, women, children are forced, tricked, or threatened into slavery, selling sex or their labor for someone else's financial gain. It happens everywhere, not just in Nigeria. People see this terrible crime and we respond with emotions. But we need to move more with strategy and resolve, not just with our hearts, but we need to use our heads. We need to apply social science methods to the study of the problem. We need to analyze how human trafficking works. Who's involved? How do they operate? What's their motivation? We need to identify points where we can intervene to develop effective strategies of intervention and test these strategies and continue to refine our approach. For example, we can look at sex trafficking as a business model. The traffickers are doing it because they can make money. there is supply and demand. The model shows us the actors in the process, and we can determine where to intervene. How can we reduce supply? These are people who are vulnerable to exploitation because of poverty, inequality, where they were born, their location, their parents, their education. Can we work for social justice to reduce inequality? Can we educate potential victims to increase awareness and reduce their vulnerability? Can we go after criminals and increase the risk of doing business by changing policies, increasing penalties, and giving law enforcement the tools they need to recognize and investigate human trafficking? Can we decrease the demand for commercial sex by working together to change our culture, by educating young men, changing the culture of sexualizing minors, and not tolerating the purchase of sex victims? We need to bring together a robust analysis, logic, and good social science to bear on the problem. ICMPD, together with NAPTIP, stand very firm to address this problem. We work with NIS, NCFR-MI to combat human trafficking in all its forms, whether it's at IDP camps or in schools, wherever human trafficking might show its face. We're grateful to the Kingdom of the Netherlands for investing in this cause through funding of the Niger-Nigeria project. Thank you very much. ICMPD works in over 90 countries and are especially privileged to work side by side NAPTIP. Our next challenge together is to take the fight against human trafficking to primary and secondary schools. We have together, with collaboration with the Nigerian agency in charge of curricula, we have worked together to infuse TIP concepts into school curricula. We have also developed teacher training curricula and trained all teacher training College of Education schools in Nigeria. We will need to train classroom teachers on the use of the curricula. The best we can do is to inform and arm our children with information on how to recognize forms of human trafficking and how to protect themselves. Together, ICMPD and NAPTIP are looking for partners to tackle this great challenge. Please let us know of your interest. I wish you all a good morning and thank you for your attention.
Let's clap for the band, please. They have been very active all morning. Thank you. Someone was trying to share with us what it will take to end the abuse of the computer. And he said, we have to be universal. I said, what? He said, we need to develop a game that looks like Mario. And I said, how can Mario help? He said, Mario is an Italian plumber made by the Japanese. He speaks English. He looks like a Mexican. He runs like an American. He jumps like an African. He loves wood like a Dutch. Picks coins like a Jew. He will help us in this matter. We will take a few more recognitions and then we'll go on to take the messages this morning. Permit me to welcome the Associate Director, Intelligence and Investigation Directorate. Let's welcome at the NFIU, Mrs. Shotunde Biola. Please put your hands together. We have also, representing the ambassador from the Republic of Benin, let's welcome Nahum Kojo. You're welcome. The Deputy Controller of Customs, especially, we appreciate you, representing the Controller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Mr. Toyin Angpeton. You're welcome. Assistant Controller of Immigration, Technical Advisor to the Honorable Minister of Interior. Sorry we had to delay this, but sorry. Thank you for coming. Madam Titi Layo Olaya is representing the Honorable Minister of Interior. Please put your hands together, especially. Director of Planning, Research and Statistics, representing Director General of Legal Aid Council of Nigeria, Aliyu Bagudu Abubakar, is Mr. Victor Labesa. Thank you for coming through. And also with us is the Associate Professor Angela N. Dick for the Vice Chancellor of Veritas University, Abuja. Please put your hands together for her specially. Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Jofia Nanka Gupar is the PA Admin to the Executive Chairman of the Federal Character Commission, Dr. Mahiba Dokaka. Please put your hands together. And we have the Statistician General and CEO of the National Bureau of Statistics, Prince Adeyemi Adeniro. You're welcome, sir. Director Special Program representing the Nigerian Educational Research and Development Council is Dr. Margaret Lawani. Thank you very much for coming. We have also with us representing James David Lalu, Executive Secretary, National Commission for the Persons with Disabilities, is Adewale Olasoji, is the director. You're welcome. There are two people I must specially appreciate before I take the next program, the next item on the program. Of course, one of them, especially, is the representative of the Sir Emeka Offor Foundation. Let's specially welcome AIG Chris Ezeke, retired. He's the Chief of Staff to Sir Emeka Offor. Please, let's clap for them. This is a wonderful group. It's a foundation that is not only working for the private sector, they are also partnering and supporting government agencies to achieve their aim. Thank you very much, sir. There's also one that I must appreciate, and this is the Managing Director and CEO of Full-Term Microfinance Institution. Let's specially appreciate Madam Anne Usiagu Mureina. Please put your hands together for her. Is she around, please? We need you to stand so they see you well, to know that you are our filler, our support. Please clap for this woman especially. Thank you very much. Thank you. Especially appreciate you. Someone had tried to start a business once, and he told me that he needed a bank. And I told him, what do you need? He said he wants loan. I had not met Madam that time. I would have told him to go and meet her to get loan. But I told him, I said, really, what kind of bank do you want? He said, sir, I need a bank that will give me a loan and leave me alone. I said, there's no such bank. You have to go somewhere else. But very quickly, we'll take messages. And of course, we'll do this very, very quickly. I understand that time is of the essence. So distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we go now for a special address from the UN. Let's welcome the UN Resident Coordinator to Nigeria, Mr. Matthias Shumale. Please put your hands together for him.
Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, allow me also to consider all protocol considered. On behalf of the United Nations in Nigeria, I would like to thank the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons for the invitation to participate in this important event. And allow me also on behalf of the UN to recognize the remarkable achievements under your leadership, Dr. Fatima. Our UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, has stated that human trafficking is a horrific crime and an all-out assault on people's rights, safety, and dignity. Allow me to recall that 9 years ago, the United Nations General Assembly adopted a resolution and designated July 30th as the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. Now, due to the prevalence of this crime, as we've already heard, and the need for multi-pronged approaches to address trafficking, the resolution sought to raise awareness of the situation of victims of human trafficking and for the promotion and protection of their rights. It is estimated that 2.4 million people across the globe are victims of trafficking, and most of them, sadly, as so often, are women, children, migrants, refugees, and internally displaced people. In Nigeria, government, UN, and others have been combining forces to amplify efforts across the country to curb trafficking, prosecute traffickers, and protect the victims. With the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic 2 or so years ago, the trafficking process has evolved, as we already heard, and shifted to online recruitment under the guise of scholarships, jobs, and sports opportunities. So as per the theme, we must counter this abuse of technology with use of technology by leveraging it to provide sophisticated investigations and effective victim-centered responses. The UNODC's Global Report on Trafficking in Persons from 2020 reported that the use of internet has been integrated into the business model of traffickers, and that it facilitates the luring of victims into sexual exploitation, forced labor, and forced criminality. Now, given that young people aged 18 to 34 account for more than 55% of the total internet users around the globe, traffickers have taken advantage in particular of young people's increasing use of social media. The increasing use of technology since the pandemic has enabled the traffickers to deploy numerous tricks and ploys with greater speed, accuracy, and anonymity to recruit, exploit, and control victims, to organize their transport and accommodation, to advertise to victims and reach out to potential clients, and the list goes on. Email and messaging services are used for the moral coercion of victims, and online platforms allow traffickers to widely advertise services provided by victims, including photographic material of children. Now, obviously, raising awareness about these dangers as well as about the opportunities provided by technology to identify and trace traffickers and recruiters has to remain a central part of our collective public outreach. NAPTIP's 2021 data indicate that cases of suspected human trafficking are reported across all Nigerian states. Moreover, most recent data from UNODC's global report indicate that most of the victims detected in the region in West Africa were children, 27% of them boys and 32% girls. And they're being trafficked in this region to work on plantations, mines, quarries, and as street vendors. Most of these victims, their families and communities, can only be reached through communication channels at the grassroots level. Therefore, mobilizing affected communities themselves, in addition to working with states and local governments, is key to combating human trafficking in Nigeria. We must adjust our responses, both in terms of intelligence gathering as well as raising awareness. I call on all stakeholders to give this issue the attention and action it deserves, and to work to end the scourge of human trafficking once and for all. In closing, let me thank the Federal Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria through the Deputy Chief of Staff to the President for the leadership and concerted efforts to curb trafficking in persons and for adopting technologies such as the 627 hotline to report cases on human trafficking. I would also like to thank the various development partners, some of them present here, who have contributed immensely to our collective response. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next, we will take a few goodwill messages. But let me also inform you that we are on Facebook and YouTube Live. This event is being streamed live on Facebook and on YouTube. If you go to Facebook, we are NAPTIP Nigeria, you will see. So you can share with your people and let them know that you're here. You can also share pictures and videos of yourself if you take them with your phones, so they can also understand that you're part of this struggle. My attention was just called to the fact that I shared a picture by one of the banners outside. I wanted to share a message. It has two hands here, they're saying, "Help me." And I wanted to add that to just share. So I posted it on Instagram. And my colleague just called me now because on top of that banner was also written, "I was forced into prostitution." And I have my picture there. So I told him, I said, "Can you just crop that part out and leave the help me?" We all need help, don't we? But we thank those who are supporting us, the Commandant General of the NSCDC, Anti-Human Trafficking Department of the National Headquarters of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. You're welcome. Please put your hands together for her. Mrs. Hanatu Mohammed is a board member of the ICPC and representing the ICPC chairman. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. So to begin the goodwill messages this morning, let's start with the ambassador to the United States of America. She's a very, very Nigerian person right now. Her Excellency Mary Leonard Beth. Please put your hands together for her.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for inviting me to this wonderful event. I'd like to echo congratulations to Dr. Fatima for her leadership of NATIP and recognize our other distinguished guests of honor by standing on the already established protocol. Trafficking in persons affects all of us and all countries all around the world. The theme of this year's World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, the use and abuse of technology, could not be more apt. As we've mentioned, one of the challenges in fighting the scourge of trafficking in persons is that criminals engaging in it have become savvier in exploiting technology. Easier forms of communication mean easier ways to cheat victims with promises of a better future. But of course, these promises are really lies. All the trafficker wants to do is line their own profits. We see that these lies can have deadly results, whether in a small boat filled over capacity in the Mediterranean Sea, the back of a sweltering truck in South Texas, or in the rising suicide rates of teenagers. However, technology can, of course, also alert authorities to suspected cases of human trafficking and lead to life-saving interventions. Last year, the U.S. Embassy partnered with a Nigerian NGO called Davatop to create an app called Takum. This app allows users to quietly report suspected cases of trafficking in persons to organizations such as NACTAL and NAPTIP. The Davatop Public Affairs Grant provided for the training of community volunteers on how to spot the signs of trafficking and report it to authorities, and issued regular radio and media outreach on trafficking prevention. And this isn't our only anti-trafficking collaboration. Our colleagues at the U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID, are partnering with civil society organizations such as NACTAL and the Federation of Muslim Women's Association in Nigeria to further develop trafficking in persons prevention efforts and grassroots awareness. One attendee of USAID-supported training on the signs of trafficking used her new awareness on the way home from the program to report and save a child who was being trafficked. Our Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs is also partnering with the United Nations and NAPTIP, other Nigerian law enforcement partners, and state task forces to build capacity for government institutions to combat trafficking in persons across Nigeria. Recently, you may have heard of the announcement of the 2022 U.S. Government Trafficking in Persons Report. Nigeria maintained its status at Tier 2 and made excellent progress in addressing recommendations from previous years. NAPTIP and their partners deserve a round of applause for all their hard work at addressing these long-standing and difficult issues. We've witnessed more community engagement regarding these challenges among civil society, law enforcement, and the media, which truly is required in a national response. The TIP report is not something meant to be critical of governments, but rather a tool to inform the public and engage policymakers about trafficking challenges in all countries, including in the US. To me, it drives home that we really are in the fight against human trafficking together. Nobody can solve this problem alone. We need all of you, government, law enforcement, civil society, students, and the public at large, to continue the fight against human trafficking. I look forward from hearing from you all today and appreciate your time. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you very much. Another round of applause for her. Before we go to the next, let me especially appreciate the military and paramilitary personnel with us here today. However, let me start off with the representative of the Honorable Minister of Labor and Employment, who's also a board member of NAPTIP. He's represented here today by Mr. Ajuwon Dauda. Please put your hands together for him. The Defense Intelligence Agency is represented here today by Lieutenant Colonel Loveday Chinedu Nwasuki. Thank you very much for coming. We have also the representative of the Chief of Air Staff, is represented by Group Captain M.A. Ailero. Thank you very much for coming. The representative of the Chief of Defense Staff is Major General S.S. Aroye. You're welcome. The representative of the Chief of Army Staff, he is represented here today by Lieutenant Colonel F.O. Atakeli. You're welcome. And the representative of the Chief of Naval Staff is Lieutenant Commander G.G. Hosea. You're welcome. Please, let's clap for them. Let's clap for them. We have also the head of anti-human trafficking section of the Nigeria Police Force, Commissioner of Police C.P. Balatola Afolabi. You're welcome. And the Controller General, Nigerian Immigration Service, Isa Jere Idris, is also here. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you. I tried to join the military without success. After trying for 3 years, I decided to join the Boy Scouts. At least let me wear khaki. So for the military personnel here, esprit de corps. We want to welcome for the her goodwill message, the British High Commissioner, Her Excellency Catriona Wendy Lyon. Please put your hands together for her.
Good morning, everybody. I'm standing here because I realized that if I stand there, nobody would be able to see me. I need to redesign to make it gender friendly, and for those of us who are a little bit smaller. Anyway, let me now move on to the official lines to take. Excellencies, distinguished guests, friends, please allow me to stand in the existing protocol, but I do, of course, want to acknowledge Dr. Fatima, who's been a great leader for all of us in this really important task before us. I've been here since November 2018, and it's been a really important priority for me to work on this issue. It's been a very important priority for our government. I'm delighted that the theme is technology. The criminals try to get one step ahead of us. We need to be one step ahead of them. So we're also evolving the way we do our programming in Nigeria. We now have a dedicated person working on cybercrime, which will include this set of issues. We also know, as Dr. Fatima said, that we need a holistic approach. It's about raising awareness, ideally in schools. It's about alternative livelihoods. It's also about, of course, catching the criminals and prosecuting the criminals. So just to run through a few of the things that we're also doing specifically on technology before I finish. So we're working with the Nigerian Immigration Service with border management technology so that the Nigerian service can patrol their borders, particularly with the border with Niger, which is where a lot of the trafficking starts. So we're supporting both Nigeria and Niger to enhance data protection legislation to enable them to share digital migration data for law enforcement purposes. Thirdly, we've supplied expertise and equipment in the examination and analysis of digital media and cloud material in order to gather evidence for trafficking cases. Fourthly, we've supported the use of digital technology in allowing victims to give their evidence free of intimidation anywhere around the world. And finally, we've developed an innovative data analysis product which uses publicly available open source migration data, which can be used to predict and to respond to migration flows. So I hope that gives you an idea of how the UK is trying to use technology to get one step ahead of the criminals. Thank you so much for inviting me today, and I look forward to hearing the actual debate.
Thank you. So very quickly, we'll go now to Spain, where we welcome His Excellency Mr. Juan Ignacio Cel, the Spanish ambassador to Nigeria, to say a few words. Please put your hands together for him.
Well, I'm not much taller than Catriona, but I'll try my best. Madam Director General, ladies and gentlemen, we join the Nigerian authorities and civil society and the international community in commemorating the World Day Against Human Trafficking. We congratulate you, Madam Director, and your team for your determination in fighting this crime. Spain is part of this joint effort, also in Nigeria, first through Spanish cooperation FIAP and project ATIPSOM, funded by the EU, that deals with this scourge in a comprehensive way, from prevention to prosecution to victim protection. But also by making sure that our security forces and the judiciary work together in dismantling mafia's networks and convicting these criminals as they try to benefit from technology. Let me simply express this morning our commitment to continue to be part of this collective fight in the future. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And from there, we go to the Netherlands, where we have the Deputy Head of Mission, Mr. Jürgen Berteling, who will speak to us now. Please put your hands together for him.
Good morning, everyone. Director General of NAPTEP, Ms. Fatima. All distinguished guests, all protocols observed. My name is Jürgen Barteling. I recently started here at the embassy in Nigeria as the Deputy Head of Mission, currently as the Chargé d'Affaires. And as such, I'm very honored to have my first event on the World Day on against trafficking, human trafficking. I'm very honored for this important day to reflect the challenges victims of human trafficking still face every day. Today we continue to raise awareness and promote the rights of victims. Today we stand together to commemorate the fight against human trafficking, which, in the words of NAPTIP, is considered to be a national crisis in Nigeria. And now, moving into the digital world. I look forward to the debates later on on the use and abuse of technology in human trafficking today, and welcome the new insights they will undoubtedly yield. We look forward to the continued collaboration with all who are present here today to guide safe migration better together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and quickly we'll move on to a goodwill message from the Controller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service. Let's welcome Issa Jere Idris. Please put your hands together for him.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I simply said, I seek refuge in God against the devil encouraging trafficking, and I begin in the name of God, the most gracious, most merciful. Representative Vice President, please permit me to stand on the already established protocol. It gives me a great pleasure to give a goodwill message on this very important gathering organized by our partner, National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, on the theme, Use and Abuse of Technology. This event is coming at no better time than now, particularly when our country is making some steady gains in the fight against smuggling of migrants, and trafficking in persons. I believe this annual event affords us opportunity to review strategies, appreciate achievements, and set new goals to ensure that the country becomes hot for persons trafficking in human beings. The theme of this year's event is equally apt, especially now that technology has become like a double-edged sword and can be deployed variously by individuals and organizations to achieve a variety of objectives. Today, access to technology has assumed a key concern among policymakers and governments. While government and organized civil society groups are exploring technological advancement to improve human and capital development, include safer migrations, criminal elements are, on the other hand, leveraging on it for sinister and heinous purposes. For instance, as society embraces the potentials of social media in promoting democracy, freedom of expression, and human mobility, the tool is fast assuming a veritable tool for facilitating and recruitment and promotion of human trafficking and smuggling of migrants. Social networking apps and mobile devices are exposing our young ones to a law and mirage of traveling abroad, thereby exacerbating the dilemma of full factor as a critical element of migration. NIS and NAPTIP, apart from having common correlated mandate in combating SOM and TIF, respectively, they have enjoyed long fruitful synergy and collaboration. For us in NIS, we maintain a strong interagency collaboration, and that remains the shortest and simplest route to achieving coordinated fight against the ills of our society, including transnational organized criminal activities. Once again, I must commend the insightful leadership of the Director General, Dr. Fatima Waziri Azi, has enthroned in NAPTIP. I sincerely wish you well as we mark this great event. Thank you for your attention. God bless you all.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you for your support and your commitment to what we are doing. Let me especially welcome the representative of the Honorable the Federal Commissioner, Hajia Imam Suleiman Ibrahim, SA, is our SE. Director also in the ministry, Mr. Stephen Medayedu. I think I got that correct somehow. Well, also, let's welcome our moderator today. I think I should appreciate her for the debate, Nelly Onche, who is the head corporate communications for NOI Polls. Please put your hands together for her. Especially welcome the Committee Clerk for Human Rights Committee in the House of Representatives of the National Assembly, Mr. Omotayo Michael. You're welcome. Next, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I think we will get this correctly. That's talking about the Special Assistant to the Honorable Federal Commissioner, Refugees, Migration and Planning. Let's especially appreciate Stephen I. Medayedu. Please put your hands together for him as he comes over to speak for us on behalf of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons to deliver for us a goodwill message. Please put your hands together for him.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to stand on the already very well established protocol. I'm standing in for the Honorable Federal Commissioner of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons, Hajia Imam Suleiman Ibrahim. I saw that the MC was struggling with my surname. My name is Stephen Medayedu. Medayedu is from Kogi State. It's my pleasure to deliver this goodwill remark as the world celebrates the International Day Against Human Trafficking. This is a day set aside to raise awareness, encourage vigilance, and gain support for the prevention of human trafficking. We all can recall that the World Day Against Trafficking is marked annually on the 30th of July to make more people become more aware of those who have been trafficked and taken away without their consent or against their will. The day aims to educate people that trafficking in persons, which includes the exploitation of women and children for forced labor and sex, is a crime. This day, therefore, is an opportunity for more of us to understand the harms of human trafficking and its negative effects on people's lives in Nigeria and globally. As a country, we join in observing this day in line with the relevant resolutions of the United Nations. These resolution emphasizes that the importance of the day is to raise awareness of the situation of victims of human trafficking and for the promotion and protection of their human dignity and rights. Ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria has joined a global plan of action to deal with trafficking in persons, and Nigeria is making coordinated and consistent efforts to deal and defeat this scourge. Evidently, this can be seen in the integrated fight against human trafficking and the broader programs of NAPTIP that are drawn to stimulate development and strengthen security in Nigeria. as more cases of trafficking are being detected and more traffickers are being convicted, it portrays the concerted work of everyone at NAPTIP and all other relevant stakeholders involved in combating these menace in our society. In order to do more and make deeper and wider impact, therefore, there is need for increase in the capacity to identify victims and stem the number of trafficked persons. This year's theme focuses on the role of technology as a tool that can both enable and impede human trafficking. The crime of human trafficking has taken over the internet as a result of the increased use of technology throughout the world, which was worsened by the COVID-19 pandemic and the platforms for our daily living. The internet and digital platforms give traffickers a variety of tools to find, abuse, and control their victims, arrange for their movements and lodging, give widespread virtual effects to their victims, and attract potential customers, communicate with other offenders, and conceal the proceeds of their crimes, all with greater speed, efficiency, and anonymity. The counterpoise to this, a negative use of technology, however, is that the same technology can be used and is in fact being used for better effects to checkmate the nefarious trade in human flesh and wolves. As we are all aware, the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons, NCFMRI, is the federal government agency charged with the responsibility of providing care and protection to persons of concern, which includes IDPs, refugees, migrants, asylum seekers, stateless persons, as well as returnees. In this role, we recognize that these persons of concern form a substantial portion of the vulnerable groups that traffickers target and prey upon. According to the United Nations High Commission for Refugees Matrix report, the number of IDPs across the country as we speak is approximately 3.2 million, while the country is playing host to about 84,000 refugees from 34 countries. Ladies and gentlemen, in line with this year's theme, the Commission recognizes that there are also tremendous opportunities in the application of technology in the care and protection of these vulnerable groups. I believe that future success in drastically reducing or ending human trafficking depends on how government agencies such as NAPTIP, NCFMI, NIS, and other agencies within the humanitarian hub can use technology to discharge their individual mandates through effective data capturing and sharing, deployment of digital solutions to monitor cyberspace, as well as enhancing efficient and diligent prosecutions with digital evidence to improve the lot of victims to obtain needed justice. On this conclusive note, I congratulate the Director General of NAPTIP and his entire management staff for the giant steps taken in the fight against this heinous crime. It is no doubt a difficult task, but it is not impossible. And that is why we see them making definitive progressive strive in fighting this war. And finally, I want to assure my dear sister, the DG NAPTIP, that they will always have a dependable ally in the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons, especially and particularly in the fight against human trafficking. Congratulations once again for this occasion, and thank you for your attention. Good morning.
Thank you very much. We quickly will move, but there's something to note in his speech that he said the DG NAPTIP and especially mentioned her team. Can we therefore appreciate all our directors and members of staff? If you are here, please, our directors, NAPTIP, can you be on your feet for special appreciation? They have been working hard to make the DG look good. Please, Members of staff and our directors, can you stand? Please put your hands together properly for them. Many of them work, including weekends, some late into the night, to see the results that we are talking about today. Thank you very much. Please, you may take a bow. Okay, they don't bow in NAPTIP. Well, thank you very much. We'll go now to the representative of the chairman and chief executive officer of the NDLEA, Brigadier General Buba Marwa, retired, who's represented here today by Mr. Shedrack Haruna Usman. Please put your hands together for him.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented here by Dr. Paye, the DG of NAPTIP, Dr. Fatima Waziri, Diplomatic Corps, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stand on the existing protocol. I'm here this morning representing my chairman, chief executive, to bring goodwill message to NAPTIP, and also to thank the DG for the dynamism and the work he's doing in NAPTIP. I'm particularly delighted to be here, having been the first pioneer director of prosecution of NAPTIP, and also having worked on the policy framework on human trafficking and migrant smuggling in the UN, and also assisted criminal justice officials in the training of and prosecuting trafficking in persons all over the world. I feel the pulse of what is happening internationally regarding the effort Nigeria is making. And I want to say Nigeria is making a very, very great stride in fighting human trafficking. In the recent years, not too long, we have seen how the new DG had brought a lot of networking and also amassed so much of goodwill from international community in the fight against human trafficking. Of course, we know as a fact that human trafficking is transnational as well as national crime. And that is where NDLA comes in. We are not unaware that some of the victims of human trafficking are just being used as drug mules as well. And we're working hard to see how to identify such mules who are victims of human trafficking in order not to re-victimize them. We're also working in collaboration with other law enforcement agencies throughout the world to see how we can identify human trafficking victims who have been used as drug traffickers. And we are doing this a lot to ensure that those victims are safely returned and not prosecuted when they are caught with drugs as well. I'm also delighted to note that what we do with other agencies, particularly when it comes to collaboration in ICT and the dark web, we're also extending such collaboration to NAPTIP, because we know drug trafficking and human trafficking, they're so interwoven that when you see human trafficking, you also drug being carried by such victims of human trafficking. So we're capacitating our officers to solve the dark web, not just the web you see, and that is where the topic for this particular day is very apt, that you need capacity to see how you can actually solve the dark web, not just the internet web, where drugs and human trafficking are being sold and being recruited. We are collaborating with Interpol in Singapore, where they have a very good lab on ICT and cybercrime, to see how we can bring this capacity to our officers. And indeed, our officers are well trained in that regard. And I know that NAPTIP officials are equally very well trained, because I know that very well. And I have seen them at work, and where we work together at the airport, we have seen the effort they have put in to identify drugs as well as to identify victims of human trafficking. So this morning, I'm here on behalf of my chairman to congratulate Dr. Waziri for the good work she's doing, And then we know that the whole community were behind you, and we want to leverage the network we have as well to see how we can fight this war together. It is seen as a war, as a crime that shapes us all, so says one of the former executive director of UNODC. Trafficking a person is a crime that we're all complicit if we don't work to bring out the perpetrators. If we don't see how we can collaborate and see and work to bring out those who commit this crime in the dark and clandestinely, to prosecute them and bring them to justice and rescue the victims of human trafficking. We want to congratulate you and thank you for the good work you're doing, and we're here to support you, and we'll work with you and collaborate with you to ensure that you succeed in this big job you're doing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me also inform you that he was the pioneer director legal for NAPTIP. You can see that we helped him to start on a good note, and he's doing well now with NDLEA. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you very much, sir. We'll quickly go to our supporters and our sponsors. One of them, of course, is the Chief of Staff to Chief or Sir Emeka Ofo. Let's welcome AIG Chris Oke Ezike, retired, of the Sir Emeka Ofo Foundation.
Your Excellencies, DG NAPTIP, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our Dr. Fatima will bring you felicitations from our boss, Sir Dr. Emeka Ofo, who of course is unavoidably absent here. We congratulate you on your many accomplishments and congratulate you on the very quality leadership you have brought to bear on this organization. At the Emeka Ofo Foundation, we do health and human services, education and educational development, and empowerment. We operate one of the largest widows cooperative society in Nigeria, with a population of about 3,000 widows plus. These are vulnerable groups, and that resonates with what you do in NAPTIP. Our support for NAPTIP is deliberate, conscious, and we are going to continue to support NAPTIP in the areas of research, because research improves data, and data improves policy. We're also interested in victim rehabilitation. Like the NDLEA chairman said, some of these victims are used for other criminal offenses or criminal conspiracies, and they are not looked as victims from that perspective. We will continue to support you. We have our people here. We have participated in all your activities for the week, and it is your network and your fellowship that has brought us into your humanitarian space. And we promise, in collaboration with all the international and national agencies, to continue supporting you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you. We want to especially appreciate the representative of the Vice President. Please, can we put our hands together for him? So I actually had to remind them that you are here just to thank you for your time. I know your office is one of the busiest in this country, but please bear with us. We need you to also hear the children's debate and before you speak. Thank you very much for your time. I know the ambassadors also, you have a meeting somewhere, but right now, this is the future of Nigeria. And because you are here, we need you also to be here. Please thank them with an applause. They have agreed to stay. Thank you very much. Let me now go to the Managing Director and CEO of Fortem Microfinance Institution, Madam Anne Usiagu Morena, to deliver her own goodwill message. Please put your hands together for her.
Good morning, everyone. Permit me to stand on already established protocol. I, on behalf of the board, management, and staff of Fortem Microfinance Institution, appreciate and congratulate the DG, Dr. Fatima Waziri Aziz, and NAPTIP on this event of the World Day Against Human Trafficking. I am indeed delighted to witness this new narrative NAPTIP has brought to bear under the leadership of Dr. Fatima. There is no gainsaying that NAPTIP has invested enormous resources in fighting this menace eating into our society, particularly in the state-targeted programs. As an organization, Fortem MFI hope to do more by collaborating with NAPTIP on sensitization and empowerment of survivors, by training on skills acquisition and financing through sub-loans with very flexible repayments as our own commitment. And like I always say, when these people, they are victims and then they become survivors, we have to reintegrate them back into the society. So Fortem is giving her own commitment that we will partner with NAPTIP to make sure these people are properly integrated back into the society. Congratulations again on this event. And once again, thank you. And let's remember, if you see something, please say something. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much once again. We have one more speaker, and then we'll go on to the debate proper. Students have been prepped. But when we travel outside this country, the latest of them all is the challenge of what kind of job you are going to do when you get out of this country. I saw a recent advert, and I just printed it out, of the kind of jobs that people go to do outside this country. But somebody had transcribed it to tell me the real job that they go to do. So if they want to recruit you as a petrol attendant, they say you are a fuel transmission engineer. If they want to recruit you as a garden boy, they say you are a landscape executive and animal nutritionist. If they want to recruit you as a receptionist, they say you are a front desk controller. If they want to recruit you as a typist, they'll say printed document handler. If you are going to be a messenger, they'll say you are a business communication conveyor. And if you are a window cleaner, they say you are doing transparent wall technician. If you are a temporary teacher, they say you are an associate professor. If you are a tea boy, they say you are a refreshment director. If you are a garbage collector, they say you are an environmental sanitation technician. If you are a security guard, they say you are a security enforcement director. You feel big, thinking you are going there to earn big. But by the time you get there, there is even no job for you. There's one that destroys me most, and that's when they are recruiting drivers. They say automobile propulsion specialist. And even thieves has their own. They say you are a wealth relocation officer. Haba. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving to the network of persons who have helped in to fight against child trafficking, abuse, and labor. Let's welcome the president of NACTAL, Abdul Ganiu Abubakar. Please put your hands together for him. Let's clap for him, please.
Good morning, everyone. The representative of the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Director General of the foremost anti-human trafficking agency in Africa, our leader and very good friend, Dr. Fatima Waziri Aziz. Permit me to stand on the existing protocol. I bring you greetings from the Board of Trustees and the membership of NACTAL across Nigeria. At the network of civil society organizations against trafficking, abuse, and labor, NACTAL, founded 17 years ago, exists to complement the effort of the government of Nigeria in the fight against trafficking in persons and smuggling of migrants. Dear DG and partners, may I use this opportunity to congratulate you for the elevation of Nigeria to Tier 2 in the 2021 TIP report. It shows that your efforts have significantly contributed to the reduction in trafficking in persons prevalence in Nigeria. As a network, we hold you dearly in high esteem, and we remain committed to complementing the effort of the government of Nigeria and development partners in the fight against trafficking in persons and smuggling of migrants. Our member organizations from across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, including our partners under the auspices of the West African Coalition Against Trafficking in Persons from the 15 countries of ECOWAS, have been busy in the last 1 week throughout major cities and communities of Nigeria with one form of intervention or the other, contributing to the efforts of the government of Nigeria and development partners. While the novelty football match was going on, I received the second request from our partner in the Republic of Mali, requesting NACTAL Nigeria to facilitate the return of another 17 girls who escaped from their traffickers in Mali, just on Saturday. This is the second in 2022, just from one country. You will recall that in February, we were also in Mali to facilitate the return of 15 Nigerian girls with the support of European Union through FIAP. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our hope that in the shortest possible time, Nigeria will be elevated to Tier 1, courtesy of the efforts of the DG of NAPTIP, the federal government of Nigeria, and other development partners. On this same day, 30th July 2021, at the Nigerian Air Force Conference Center, we appeal to the government of Nigeria to consider the frequent changes in the leadership of NAPTIP and also to appoint leadership for NAPTIP in line with the provisions of the NAPTIP Act. Shortly after this request, the government of Nigeria responded positively by appointing the present Director General, who has the requisite skills, competence, exposure, and all it takes to manage a multi-sectoral agency like NAPTIP. We appreciate this effort of the federal government. As civil society organizations, we do not exist just to point out gaps, but we also exist to complement and recognize the effort of government and development partners. Like Oliver Twist, this year we also have another request to the federal government of Nigeria. So we are using this opportunity, the presence of the representative of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to call on the President of Nigeria, the Honorable Minister of Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, and the National Assembly of Nigeria to consider providing adequate funding as well as release of such funds to the fight against trafficking in persons to NAPTIP and other government ministries, departments, and agencies with anti-human trafficking mandates. This is our request for this year, and we are hopeful that the government of Nigeria will listen to this request of 208 civil society organizations spread across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much for your contribution to the Nigerian response. Thank you.
Thank you. Your request actually is going to meet the right person, because that man there sees the Vice President every day, and together they see the President every day. I just remembered something that really, I was a victim of trafficking. I was trafficked before I was born. My mother was 6-7 months pregnant when they trafficked me to the US to be delivered. I came back. In fact, one of my worst experiences was one day, my mother drank very hot US tea. I almost vomited in the tummy. It's not easy. But now I only use the Nigerian passport. I have not had the opportunity of traveling to the US. Since the ambassador is here, I'm sure you'll stamp my passport quickly. The Nigerian one. But put your hands together for her. We have a few others. Victoria Lar is an assistant director of the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs. Please put your hands together for her. We have also the superintendent of the EFCC, Martha O. Eche, representing the executive chairman of the EFCC. You're welcome. We have Mr. Kalu Anya of the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, and Mr. Uche Tioda is of the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development. From the National Orientation Agency, we have Mr. Shegun Alao. Thank you very much for coming through. So distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment that I have been waiting for. I hope it is yours also. It is the time where we get into the inter-university debate finals, and the theme is the use and abuse of technology in trafficking in person. To be able to give us a background and coordinate the entire process is the moderator who will be working with our judges and the special timekeeper. Let's welcome the head of corporate communications of NOI Polls, Madam Nelly Ohuche. Please put your hands together for her.
All right. Permit me to stand on the existing protocols. We're going to make this as snappy as possible. We know that everybody here is busy and needs to go back to whatever it is that they were doing. You're welcome to the grand finale of the 2022 World Day Against the finals of the inter-university debates. This is in commemoration of the World Day Against Human Trafficking. And the essence of this is to have young people get involved in this conversation. Last week, exactly on Friday, we had a group of students from 2 universities in Abuja, that is Veritas University and Bayes University, and they had a debate. The debate actually was centered around the use of technology in either combating human trafficking or enabling human trafficking. Today, we are going to, as fast as we can, have the lead speakers of that debate come up and make an argument for the use of technology in combating human trafficking or in enabling human trafficking. Like I said, we have university students from Veritas University, from Veritas University, we have Adu Olufumilayo Ann. She was one of the debaters last week, Friday. We also have Namero Kodret Chisom. Can we see you, please, from Veritas University? Could you just come to this point, please? Thank you. To the front. Thank you. Bolanle Emmanuel Agaji. All right, so we also have their coordinator. He is the head of department, Public and International Law Department of the University of Veritas, or Veritas University Abuja. He's Dr. Chukwudi Victor Odeme. All right, that's him there. All right, thank you very much. We also have from Bayes University, Asia Garba. Asia. Chibeze Christian Onwuchelo. Please, let's put our hands together for these young people. Precious Peace Iye Agala. And we also have their coordinator, Miriam Idris Abdulkadir. She is Secretary, Bayes University Law Clinic. Let's put our hands together for her. All right. We also have the judges. We have the judges and a timekeeper. We have 3 judges. We have Adanna Ihonuneku. Adanna is from IOM. Please, could you stand up for recognition, please? Let's be sure who our judges are. All right, we also have Kelechi Amadi from PLAC. There is also Olamide Faguji from the Office of the Vice President. And we have our timekeeper, Oyegun Osamui from NAPTIP. All right, you're all welcome. All right, just before we go into this, we know that the effect of human trafficking can not be overemphasized, considering the severe psychological effect this has on the victims. Considering the current digital means used for recruitment of victims, there is actually an urgent need to reach the demographic that uses more technology. And these are the young people. The young people are the ones who use more of technology. To this end, this inter-school debate is timely as it reaches out to young Nigerians in tertiary institutions. And the good thing about this is that it's going to have a ripple effect because they get to speak to their peers and people around them. We are doing as much as we can to take this fight to the young people. If we say that they are the future of tomorrow, then we have to start making sure that they understand the implications of all of this and how not to get involved. So we're going to take each of them as fast as we can. We'll have the team leads do a 5-minute presentation. We have the team leads do a 5-minute presentation. They are going to be speaking for and against. They're going to be speaking for and against. So we'll just have all the other debaters back to their seats. They were the ones that had the debates on Friday. I just wanted you to see them. And we have just the team leads, and they'll each do 5 minutes of trying to convince you why, convince you on the use of technology, why it should or should not be used for human trafficking or should be used. So we'll have the team leads. Please, the rest of you, please go back to your seats. Put your hands together for them, please. Can you come up to the podium? Each of the speakers has 5 minutes, but the bell will go off at 4 minutes. When that happens, you know you have 60 seconds to round up. So we'll take the debates to, like I said, we have Veritas University. Veritas is speaking for or against? You're speaking for, and Bayes is speaking against. All right, so we have Veritas take the lead.
Now, today's debate is going to be a retrospection. That is a debate that has existence of physical evidence. Distinguished panel of adjudicators, the perfect timekeeper, my learned colleague, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the Veritas University Faculty of Law is Olufumi Adun, here once again to establish her point on how human trafficking can be combated using technology. Now, the United States in their data have shown, the United Nations rather in their data have shown that 40% of trafficking that takes place in the United States takes place online, making the internet the most beautiful and most popular place where trafficking takes place. Now, that is for the United States. Let's come back to Nigeria. It is no news to us that the agency in charge of trafficking in Nigeria is NAPTIP. Now, NAPTIP, from their statistics, have shown that 61% of trafficking that takes place in Nigeria takes place internally, that is within the state and across state lines. Now, using NAPTIP as a case study, NAPTIP has collaborated with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children to be able to further track down these traffickers and enable diligent investigation of cases relating to human trafficking and other offenses. Now, like I said, today's debate is going to be practical. I'd like every single one of us to take a look around us. Now, we have cameras covering this event. That is creating awareness. And I'm very sure that creation of awareness is one of the major objectives of NAPTIP. Now, within the global space that we are operating in currently, the only way that they will be able to achieve this objective is through technology. Now, if we think that technology is actually aiding these traffickers than is helping to curb trafficking, NAPTIP will take a look at their strategies and go back and say, oh, since we no longer need technology to combat trafficking, they will now be looking for alternative means, like maybe they will go back to ancient means and contacting native doctors to help us see in air or in water the movements of these traffickers. But no, since we have advanced technology, we have a very good database system that can be able to track these traffickers. Now, today's debate will be more than just a debate and will also be a lecture. I'll be giving you reasons on how technology has helped to combat human trafficking. Now, we have the cyber tip line. This cyber tip line is a centralized mechanism that allows people to report cases of human trafficking, sexual abuse, and other related offenses. Now, this cyber tip line is made available to the public to help them, to the public and electronic service providers to help report cases of suspected human trafficking, child abuse, and sexual exploitation. Isn't this so beautiful? Now, as a legal student, I will be taking this my arguments will not be complete without the backing of the law. Now, Section 39, subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria, as amended, has provided us the fundamental right to information. And this information can be provided to us using what? Technology. Now, Section 84 of the 2011 Evidence Act of Nigeria, as amended, has also provided us with the admissibility of electronic evidence in court. Now, this electronic evidence can be presented in court to be able to prosecute these evildoers. Now, let's take a look at the case of NAPTIP versus Olujimi in 2018. Now, these suspects were alleged to have kidnapped a 7-year-old boy, taking him to another state where he was to be sold. Now, these people were caught using their telephone communication, text messages between them and the third party who was to buy the child. And that evidence was presented in court, and that's how they were prosecuted and given appropriate punishments. Now, I'm very glad that we have heard that NAPTIP has collaborated with Meta, and Meta, that is the owner of Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram, to help use these apps and forums to be able to create more awareness and be able to track down the locations and the online dealings of these people. Isn't that very wonderful? Now, at this moment, I can see my learning opponent nodding her head in agreement, ready to take a bow and leave this stage because she finds this debate no longer negotiable. At this point, for anybody that thinks that technology is actually aiding rather than helping to curb trafficking, it's very clear that the person likes to be deceived, and that's the nature of kind of people that these traffickers are looking for. I enjoy those who join hands with NAPTIP to be able to fight this crime and be able to stop human trafficking in Nigeria completely. And at this point, I rest my case. Thank you very much.
Okay. She has made this place look like a court. Okay, she has rested her case. And I hope the judges understand. Okay, like she had said, speaking for the use of technology in combating human trafficking, like she said, it can be used to track down perpetrators of human trafficking. I guess everything that has a positive side also has, or a negative side also has a positive side. All right, so we also take this debate to the opposing team who say that, you know, that technology enables human trafficking. Let's hear your side.
Good day, everyone. My name is Precious Agala, and today I will be speaking to you on how technology enables human trafficking. Human trafficking is the illicit movement of people from one place to another for exploitative purposes. Technology, on the other hand, is the practical application of scientific knowledge. Now, for better understanding, let's paint a mental picture. Think about how you did not need to walk here because a car was available, or how you did not need to travel all the way back to your hometown to greet your family and friends because you could use a mobile phone. I'm pretty sure some of us are thinking and are like, technology has made my life easier. In like manner, the trafficker can think about how he no longer needs to physically meet customers to collect his money, or how he no longer needs to physically meet other traffickers to plan a successful operation, and how he no longer needs to physically meet victims to lure them. Ladies and gentlemen, just as technology makes your daily activities easier, these traffickers can say the exact same thing. In 2020, the United States prosecution reported that 80% of trafficking cases involved online advertisements, and 40% of sex trafficking cases were done online. These statistics prove that there is a role that technology is playing in human trafficking. Ladies and gentlemen, my job here today is to tell you how prominent this role is in actualizing human trafficking. In order to effectively understand the role of technology in human trafficking, one must consider the various steps involved in a successful human trafficking process. And I'm talking about the period before departure down to the period where these victims are now in captives. Now, looking at the period before departure, now this is the period where these traffickers are thinking about who their victims are going to be and how they will entrap them. Technology helps with easy recruitment. Through the use of social media, these traffickers can establish a relationship of trust and confidence and use it to entrap these victims. They can also issue advertisements on websites promising fake job offers and scholarships, making it easier to find victims. At this point, technology also provides incentives for these traffickers. Take, for instance, the trafficking of women and children for the making of pornographic content. We know that pornography would not exist without technology. Hence, the availability of technological tools makes it possible for encouragement of trafficking for this purpose. And what's even more convenient for them is that this form of recruitment is not geographically constrained. What I'm saying is that they are not restricted to people that they can see and touch. The entire internet space is their playground. Moving to the period of departure. Now, these traffickers will need to move around, and it is foreseeable that these victims would not have legitimate travel documents. This is normally supposed to pose a problem, but through the use of internet technology, these people can fabricate data. I'm talking about the creation of fake passports and fake visas, hence facilitating movements. Let's move to the point of during movements. These traffickers would need to communicate with one another. We all know that through the use of a mobile phone, communication is very easy. Handler A can get all the necessary information he needs concerning the operation from handler B with just a phone call or a text message. Moving to the period of at arrival, when these traffickers arrive at their destination, it is foreseeable that certain transactions would need to be made. Now, generally speaking, the human trafficking business is a very lucrative one. It is worth $150 billion US. This is a lot of money. And these traffickers will need ways to allow these monies pass hands without raising suspicion. Through the use of cryptocurrencies, these traffickers can do so, sending their monies through bitcoins. Now, at the point where these victims are in the hands of the customers, technology also plays a role. Now, these traffickers can get intimate videos and pictures of their victims and use it to blackmail them. That is, threaten them to release it if they do not comply with their demands. This also aids retraffic, as in that same manner, they can blackmail them to come back into the hands of the victims. Having analyzed the impact of technology in every single stage of a human trafficking process, I hope you can safely conclude with me that technology is playing a role in human trafficking. Thank you very much.
Let's put our hands together for her again. That was a very beautiful one also. I guess we'll leave that to the judges to decide who wins. Actually, as we progress in the next few minutes, the judges are going to tell us, based on the arguments that were made on Friday and the argument that has just been made, who the winner of this debate is. Like I said earlier, the debate has been The Veritas University has spoken on how technology combats human trafficking, can be used to combat human trafficking, while that's Veritas University, while Bayes University has been on the opposing side saying that, talking about how technology enables human trafficking. We're going to move this over to the judges to make a final decision and tell us who the winner of this debate is. Like I said, it is very important that we hear the young people talk. We're excited that they have done their research. Forgive my bias. I am from a polling and research organization, so I like the fact that you talk about research and you analyze and do all of that. So we're going to leave it to the judges to please tell us who has won this competition. Like I said, this competition is between Bayes University, Abuja, and Veritas University, Abuja. Let's hear from the judges.
Please put your hands together. The judges are still writing their judgment. It's not easy to practice law in Nigeria. See, the hustle has started from year one. But I am lucky I taught English. I was teaching English from primary school to the university. I was teaching primary school one day, and I told them, I said, children, if somebody gives birth to 3 children and they call them triplets, what if you give birth to 1 child? And the boy said, it's singlet. I told him to make a sentence with sugar. And he said, sir, I drank tea this morning. I said, no, there's no sugar in your sentence. He said, sir, the sugar is inside the tea. But the challenge is, I hope someday we are able to use one Nigerian local language to do debate, because we are battling the English language. For instance, there's no egg in the eggplant, no ham in the hamburger, neither pine or apple in the pineapple. English muffins were not invented in England, and French fries were not invented in France. The guinea pig is neither a pig, nor is it from Guinea. And funnily, we drive on parkways, we park on driveways, we play at recitals, and we recite at plays. The boxing ring is square, and quicksand takes you down slowly. If the stars are out, they are visible. But if lights are out, they are invisible. And I ask you this question. If vegetarians eat vegetables, what do humanitarians eat? But we are talking about the use or abuse of the internet. And I asked the question, how do trees access the internet? And somebody say they log in. Let's welcome the first counselor for Burundi Embassy, Simpai Pankrachi. Please put your hands together. That's the best I could call that, but thank you very much for coming through. We appreciate you. The judges are getting ready. In a few minutes, they'll tell us as soon as they are ready, and then we'll welcome them. But I also want to say, please just welcome the person to your left and your right. Just tell them, welcome. We are doing this together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are you done welcoming yourselves? That was pretty fast. Okay. The results are not in the pipeline any longer. We're busting open the pipeline. So we have the judges here, and the judges are going to So, forgive me for that. Like I said earlier, the results are ready. Would have a member of the judges to step up and share the results of this interesting debate. I wish you were here on Friday. It was looking like a it was looking like a court case, court suit. And they were all, it was quite interesting. I actually, prior to that time, didn't know that they were all law students until they started. It was a beautiful argument. So we have Kelechi Amadi from Palak. Oh, PACAC, sorry. All right, so he's one of the judges, and he is going to be revealing for us who the winner of the Inter-University Debate Finals on the use and abuse of technology in human trafficking will be for 2022. Kelechi, over to you. All right, so let's get all of the contestants, all of the debaters that were here on Friday. We have we have Asia Garuba. Put your hands together for her. We have Shibeze Christian Onwuchelu. Put your hands together for him, please. Very fast. And we also have Precious Peace Iye Agala. Precious? You're here. All right. Please put your hands together for them. They did very well. We also have from Veritas University, Adu. Olufumilayo Ann. Where are you? Great. Please let's put our hands together for her. She spoke a lot of French on Friday. I realized I had to go for French classes. Then there's Namero Kodret Chisom. Where is she? Please put your hands together for her. And Bolande Emmanuel Agaji. Put your hands together for him. Let's also have their coordinators, Dr. Chukwudi Victor Odeme. He is head of department, Public and International Law Department, Veritas University. Let's also have Miriam Idris Abdul Kadir. She is secretary, Bayes University Law Clinic. Can you stand behind your students, please? All right, let's put our hands together for their coordinators. They coordinated them to make this presentation. Thank you for the good work that you do. We appreciate. Thank you. All right, so at this point, I am going to hand it over to the judges to tell us who the 2022 winner for the inter-school debate is.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Ohuche. Good afternoon, everybody. The moderator said Thursday was like a court case. Today it felt like I was watching Champions League finals. It was very heated. I would say congrats to these two schools and congrats to the two presenters today. It was really, really good. Today was very, very difficult for us to score. But I'll just go through the scoring and how we got the grades. Like I mentioned on Thursday, we were going to score the schools on content, fluency, delivery, confidence, ability to keep to time, and appearance. So all that had 75 points. The final presentation today had 25 points. So for content, which was scored over 25, Veritas had 18 points. And this is for Thursday. Today's scores are different. It was on Thursday. Yeah, then for content, Bayes had 23 points. For fluency and style, Bayes had 13 over 15. Veritas had 9 over 15. For delivery and strategy, which we scored over 15, Veritas scored 9 over 15. Bayes scored 12 over 15. For confidence and composure, which we scored over 10, Veritas scored 9 over 10. Bayes had 9 over 10. Ability to skip to time was 5 marks each. Veritas had 5/5. Base had 5/5. For appearance, which we scored over 5, Veritas had 5/5. Base had 5/5. So based on the total score from Thursday, I'll leave the total score from Thursday and just go straight to the total score for today, over 25 points. Veritas had 23/25. Base had 21/25. So if you collate the final scores, I'm sure some people were keeping records so that they can go on tribunal after this. The total scores is from Thursday and today. Veritas had 78/100. And Base had 88/100. So on behalf of myself and my fellow judges, Olamide Fabuji and Adana, we want to declare Base University as the winners of this year's debate competition.
To be the best, number one, nothing less. Lead me to my destiny. I have waited patiently.
I will now hand over the microphone to the Acting Director of Public Enlightenment, Mr. Josiah Merole, to coordinate the giving out of the gifts and awards.
Stand up for the champions, stand up for the champions, stand up for the champions.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a very tough competition since Thursday, and we have now got the results. We have some prizes because we promised them that this debate, there are prizes to be won. We have some plaques to be given to the institutions that took part in this debate. We have certificates to be given to individual debaters. We have trophies to be given, gold and silver, and we also have cash prize to give to each of the sides. We'll start with the plaques, and it's my honor and privilege to invite the DG to please come to the podium. I would also like to respectfully invite Her Excellency the U.S. Ambassador to please come forward. The representative of the Netherlands should please come forward. We will have Her Excellency present a plaque to the winning team, and His Excellency from Netherlands will present to the second team. The first teamer is Base University. No. Thank you very much. Sir, you can now present to Veritas University. May I also invite, okay, the next one is the certificates which the DG will handle to present the certificate to each of the debaters. DG Ma.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. So the first certificate I'll be presenting is Miriam Idris Abdulkadri. Yeah. Chibwe is a Christian. Congratulations. Agala Precious Peace. Asia Garba. Dr. Chukwudi Victor. Adun. Namero. Who's Namero? Then Emmanuel Ajaji.
The next is the cash prize. I would like to invite the cash people in the room. The cash people in the room to please come forward to join us to give this. The representative of Saimeko 4 should please come forward, and also the managing director of FOTEM. Please come forward. Now, the representative of Saimeko 4 is going to present a cash prize of 300,000 naira to the winning institution. Sir. So, okay, the coordinator, okay. Thank you very much for your support, sir. Now, the MD of FOTEM will present a cash gift of 250,000 naira to Veritas University. Thank you very much. Now, we are getting to the climax. We are getting to the climax. I'd like to invite His Excellency, the Ambassador of Spain in Nigeria, to please come forward to help us. He will give the silver trophy to the first runner-up, which is Veritas University. Now, the big one. It's my honor and privilege to invite His Excellency, the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented, to please do us the honor of presenting this trophy to the winning institution. Your Excellency, sir.
Well, on behalf of NAPTIP, I'd like to congratulate the two teams. It was the bit of it that I had today was brilliant on both sides. But a team must win, and this is a well-deserved one for Bayes University. My pleasure on behalf of His Excellency the Vice President to present the trophy.
Thank you very much. Maybe we need to step forward a little bit for a picture. Let's take some pictures here, please. Please move forward, madam. Your Excellency. The judges, please, while Her Excellencies, the Excellencies move back to their seats. The judges, please, come and take a picture with the debaters. And I think the other students that came with them should join them. The other students should join them. Please make it fast. Are we done? Thank you. Please, FIAP and ICMPD, please, you have made this to happen today. FIAP and ICMPD, please step forward and take this picture with them. All right, thank you very much. Thank you. You may have your seats now. But I would like to mention this, Your Excellency, that Veritas University, I'm proud with their performance here today because their law program is just 1 year old. So they have performed well. May I now invite our MC to continue his job.
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for him. This is my Oga. If they started this in 1 year, year one, by the time somebody can graduate from that school as a senior advocate. But there's something, lawyers, the judges mentioned something about appearance. You know, I'm confused because I know lawyers collect money for appearance. Is it the appearance as in showing up, or is it the appearance as in what they were wearing? But either way, it was good. Let me invite the president of NACTAL to come and do something quickly. Please put your hands together for him as he comes up. I'll also invite the DG to just come up for 1 minute. These are the network of people who are helping to support what NAPTIP is doing. Please put your hands together properly for him.
Good afternoon once again. Like I said, the Network Against Child Trafficking, Abuse and Labor, NACTAL Nigeria, with 208 member organizations spread across the 36 states and the FCT, have been collaborating meaningfully with NAPTIP and other government MDAs in the response to trafficking in persons. We have never had it this good. We have a DG with an open door policy that has embraced NACTAL both at the state, zonal, and national level, and has been cooperating with us in all we do. So we feel it is important, like I said earlier, that as civil society organizations, we do not exist only to point at gaps, but we also exist to collaborate as well as celebrate our state actors and development partners for the very good work we are doing. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees today, NACTAL wishes to present this recognition to the Director General of the foremost anti-human trafficking agency in Africa, our very good friend who has operated an open door policy for civil society organizations in Nigeria to contribute to the Nigerian response. DG Ma, on behalf of all of us, we want to recognize the effort.
Congratulations. Congratulations. There's also a certificate of graduation. Please, let's clap. If you are happy for the DG, thank you. Thank you, NACTAL, for doing a great job. Now, I want to plead with the band to make a noise for the DG. The band, please. Thank you very much. I hope that sound was appropriate because I have senior military men here. If you blow the wrong one, you do frog jump outside. But Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the high point of today's meeting. We have seen the debate, we have listened to goodwill messages, but it's now time to have the address of our special guest of honor. Today, it's an honor to invite the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, GCON, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, who is ably represented here by the Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Mr. Adeola Rahman Ikpaji. Please put your hands together for him as he comes over to speak to us, the mind of the Vice President.
Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you very much. Our host and Director General of NAPTIP, Dr. Fatima Waziri-Azi, the U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, Her Excellency Ambassador Mary Beth Leonard, the Ambassador of Spain to Nigeria, His Excellency Ambassador Juan Ignacio Cell, and other very distinguished members of the diplomatic corps. The head of region, International Center for Migration Policy Development, Dr. Moji Shodende, the Controller General Immigrations, Issa Jerry, and heads of federal government MDAs here present, the President Network Against Child Trafficking, Abuse and Labor, Abdul Ghani Abubakar, other partners of NAPTIP, including, of course, Fortem, Saemeka, Ofo Foundation, and others too numerous to mention. Special guests, the students of Bays and Veritas universities, invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, and let me start by giving the apologies of His Excellency the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. He was due to attend this very important event, but unfortunately he's unable to and has instructed me to come and deliver this address on his behalf. I'm delighted to be here for this very important event, the grand finale of the 2022 United Nations World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. The day is set aside specially to raise awareness on the agony of human trafficking victims, promote and protect the rights of such victims, and mobilize political will and resources to address trafficking in persons as a problem of global concern. As we all know by now, every day across the world, human traffickers exploit vulnerable people for profit. Since the end of the slave trade, there has probably been nothing so damning for our collective claim to civilization. Let me at this stage congratulate NAPTIP and her partners on the current program of commemoration. It is important that we remind everyone that this dastardly act is going on and that we must all join hands in the effort to stop it. I commend the management and staff of NAPTIP under the very able supervision of the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Mrs. Shadia Umar Farouk, and the dynamic leadership of the Director General, Dr. Fatima Waziri Azim. I also appreciate very much the contributions of our collaborating partners, the International Center for Migration Policy Development, the International Organization for Migration, the International and Ibero-American Foundation for Administration and Public Policies, Sir Emeka Ofo Foundation, Fortem Microfinance Institution, for putting together all those engaging activities that had led up to this event today. It is only by working together that we can collectively develop solutions capable of addressing the root causes and risk factors that perpetuate human trafficking across the world. I'm aware that for this year's commemoration, a full week of events began on Monday, July 25, 2022, with a massive awareness campaign, critical engagements with strategic stakeholders across the country, and the premiere of a short film produced by NAPTIP Drama Club titled Pound of Heart. This is a drama presentation which focuses attention on the disturbing issue of organ trafficking. I must also congratulate our youngsters, the students of Bays University and Veritas University, who have made it to the finals of the inter-university debate focused on the 2022 World Day Against Trafficking in Persons with the theme Use and Abuse of Technology. I congratulate the winners and all participants and lecturers of both institutions. They have all done very well in nurturing a generation of young people who fully understand and can confidently speak to these issues is something that we must do as a matter of priority. Young people like yourselves have always made the difference between the relative stability of old with its lingering inadequacies and the possibilities of the new. We therefore rely on you, students, and other youngsters to make the change even where we have hitherto fallen short. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the essence of today should not be lost. We are here in solidarity with victims and survivors of human trafficking and to rise in unison by promoting and protecting the rights of potential victims. I hope we will all take this opportunity to rekindle our commitment to work together in finding solutions that will build a safer and just world. The choice of this year's theme, Use and Abuse of Technology, is very apt because it underscores the dynamism of the crime of human trafficking and the growing utilization of online interactions as a very efficient enabler. Human trafficking is a challenge of extraordinary magnitude. It poses serious risks and long-lasting, very adverse consequences to all affected persons. Its major victims are mostly women and children who, without a doubt, represent the future of any society. The task before us is therefore quite enormous, especially with the changing dynamics introduced by the new wave of information technology. As a government, we are proud of the achievements already recorded by NAPTIP, her partners, and other stakeholders. But I'm here to urge that we all must do more. I'm persuaded that with more support from everyone, including the private sector, as already evident in this year's collaboration, more will be achieved and Nigeria and the world will be better for it. It is on record that this administration has continued to deploy the necessary political will in the fight against human trafficking by providing the direction and support to NAPTIP and other critical stakeholders to make Nigeria a human trafficking-free nation. Surely, things will continue in that direction. This is clearly demonstrated in the recent approval by the Federal Executive Council of 3 key policy documents. First is the National Action Plan on Human Trafficking, 2022 to 2026. Second, the National Policy for Protection and Assistance to Victims of Trafficking in Persons, and the Protocol for Identification, Safe Return, and Reintegration of Trafficked Persons. I'm certain that these policy documents will continue to set the agenda on important conversations and to streamline activities towards the interruption and reversal of human trafficking. As part of our counter-trafficking efforts to address factors fueling human trafficking in Nigeria, the present administration, through the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, has intentionally mainstreamed youth and women into the various social investment interventions in order to reduce their vulnerability and challenge those fundamental inequalities that leaves them more open to the antics of human traffickers. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure the safety of Nigerians, especially those genuinely seeking labor opportunities outside the country, the federal government standard procedure for international recruitment and NAPTIP's Trafficking in Persons Control of Activities of Organizations and Centers Regulation of 2019 empower NAPTIP to regulate, control, and issue clearance certificates to travel agents, tour operators, and intending travelers for educational, excursion, recruitment of labor, sporting activities, cultural and musical excursion or competitions. All organizations, shelters, and homes offering services for the rehabilitation of trafficked persons will also ensure that persons who seek to temporarily migrate are not exploited. Furthermore, to foster cooperation in this effort, Nigeria has signed several agreements with neighboring countries to stem the tide of trafficking in persons within the region. I'm aware, for instance, that NAPTIP recently signed an MOU with its counterpart in the Gambia to enhance cooperation, strengthen bilateral relations, and ease coordination of operations towards curbing human trafficking. Let me also note that the recommendations of the 22nd Trafficking in Persons report on human trafficking released on July 19, 2022 by the US government, which is geared towards stimulating actions and creating partnerships, is very well received. All recommendations for Nigeria have been noted, and as a country, we will continue to scale our efforts in the area of prosecution, prevention, protection, policy, and partnership. Human trafficking remains a great threat to human capital of any nation and its overall economic development. The challenges we jointly face in tackling it are enormous because these are complex and diverse and requires proactive interventions. I therefore solicit the continued support of all stakeholders. We can only win this fight by keeping up the pressure and working together with a common vision. Let us take this opportunity on the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons to further strengthen partnerships and rededicate our efforts towards ending this barbaric act. I thank you all for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause for His Excellency. Thank you very much, sir. We sincerely appreciate you, and thank you. NAPTIP is always open for support and partnerships, and we are ready to work with you, other government agencies, as well as private individuals and organizations to helping us achieve our mandate. Thank you. Well, it is said that computers and air conditioners are similar in a way that they begin to malfunction when you open the windows. A lawyer was told once in court that his client had stolen some things. He was accused of burglary, and the lawyer said to the judge, "My lord, my client merely inserted his hands into the window and removed a few articles." And he said, "My lord, you cannot punish the whole body, since it is only his hand that committed the crime. If you so wish, my lord, you can punish the limbs and allow his body go." And the judge said, "Well, using your logic, I hereby sentence the accused, but only his limbs, to 12 years imprisonment. He can either choose to accompany his limbs, or he can choose to remain outside the prison." Now, what happened surprised the judge, because with the help of his lawyer, the accused removes his artificial hands and dropped them on the table for the judge, and he walked away freely. The man who will tell us thank you is here. I don't know if he has slept in the last 5 days. He's been up every time. He replies your mail at 2 a.m. and he calls you 5 minutes later to ask if you have received the reply. He's worked with every director, with every unit. Even though he's in charge of Public Enlightenment Department, I also am writing a recommendation to the OFOR Foundation that this man deserves a 2 weeks break in Dubai after this work. As the chairman of this planning committee, he's actually our director of Public Enlightenment Department. Let's welcome him for the vote of thanks, Mr. Josiah Emerole. Please put your hands together for him.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellencies, High Commissioner, ambassadors, and heads of foreign missions here in Nigeria, heads of the other agencies here, MDAs, members of the diplomatic corps, members of the armed forces, our great supporters, the directors of NAPTIP, and senior officers of NAPTIP, not forgetting our sponsors for this program, the 1 week activities we have held, ICMPD, FIAP, IOM, Simon Kofo Foundation, Fortem Micro Finance Institution, and the rest of them. When we started this, planning for this program, we didn't know where to start from. But we had one woman who has the indomitable spirit, who said we should move forward. All that we have done here today is something we just started a month ago. We didn't have any money to start, but she said, move forward. We will get it done. And she began to galvanize support from everywhere. And for the first time, the private sector, because of her type of person, joined the work. And today we are here. I'd like us to please give the Director General of NAPTIP a very big round of applause. Like they will say in some places, she has done what Napoleon could not do. This time last year, we knew how tough it was, but we'll not go into that today. I thank God that this has happened. I thank God for all our partners, international partners, local partners. I thank our very dear stakeholders, epitomized by NACTAL. The military men here, thank you very much for always standing by us and for being here this day. Other security agencies, thank you so much for all the support we have got from you. Veritas University and Bayes University, we are very proud of you. Many universities were supposed to be part of this, but somewhere along the line, at the dying minutes, as it were, some of them, probably they became afraid of getting involved. They started dropping. And some were courageous enough. And these two today are the most courageous. And we have seen what they have done today and the quality that those schools are imparting on these students. And I hope that next time when we call you, you will do better than what you have done today. The judges, thank you for the job you have done. The NAPTIP band, thank you for the great job. The MC, thank you. You know, most times the MC is always forgotten, but I will not forget Ben 200 for the great job he has done. I want to thank everybody. My colleagues in the department who have not slept for weeks now, I thank you. The media, thank you for always being there for us. I thank you all. I thank you all. And I thank everyone for making this a reality. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much. This is just to announce before we take the national anthem that there will be tea break after we go. After we're done with the national anthem and a group photograph, The DG will lead our special guest of honor, and the VIP is in front through this front door to take tea at the foyer. Every other person will go through the back door to just take tea. Tea is served. It's the same tea for everybody. We are drinking tea together. But thank you once again. Let's be on our feet as we honor Nigeria by taking the national anthem. Thank you, DJ and our special guests. And those in front are VIPs. Can you just, we were supposed to take the group photograph before we take tea, but I hope the tea will wait. Photographers, are we ready? We'll just take the group photograph very quickly. Senior military personnel, Your Excellency, will take the group photograph. The group photograph is already being taken in batches.
Meg? Yes, Mommy? What are you doing with my phone? I'm doing assignment. We're giving our assignment to do online assignment. Online assignment? Why are they giving you assignments online these days? Despite the huge sum of money your dad and I are paying for textbooks. What about the school library? We use it as well. It's just that this particular one, we were asked to do it online. Anyways, I came to remind you of the church service today by 5 p.m. Remember, we are leaving this house by 4:30. Okay? Yes, Mommy.
Sir, ma'am, the phone analysis shows that your daughter, Meg, was chatting with someone named Snoop within the period she went missing. And this Snoop is seemingly helping her to cover up a pregnancy.
Pregnancy?
Meg? Yeah. Where? How? Under my roof? Sir, the social media conversation here from the phone shows us that your daughter was communicating with this guy, Snoop, yes, and they agreed to meet on that day.
I should have known better. She was always collecting my phone, telling me she wants to do assignments. My daughter.
Sorry, ma'am. NAPTIP forensic intelligence gathered so far shows us that she is in constant communication with that Snoop, whom we suspect he's connected with her disappearance.
Can you trace that so-called Snoop whenever you call his name? Because I want my daughter back alive.
Oh yes, we're on his trail, sir. Although the social media account has been deactivated. It is a pseudo account. But our investigation continues. Yes.
My daughter. My daughter.
Take it easy, madam.
My daughter. My daughter. My daughter.
Okay. Come on, take it easy. Calm
My
down.
daughter.
Sir, I am assuring you, NAPTIP is working in collaboration with all other relevant law enforcement agencies on this to ensure that all the culprits on this case are brought to book. Your daughter will surely be brought back to you.
Are you sure?
She will also get justice to it.
Human trafficking involves the exploitation of persons for financial gains. It includes buying and selling of babies, illegal organ trade, sexual and labor exploitation. Victims can be recruited through deception, use of force, and also via social media, among other means. Report cases of human trafficking now. Download the Talkan app on Play Store. You can also visit www.talkan.org/report and www.naptip.gov.ng. Call 627 or 070-300-00203 or 090-3000-2362. This message is brought to you by Devatop Center for Africa Development in collaboration with the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, under the Talkan project funded by the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria, Asian Contra La Trata, and Pamplona City.